Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel, comes out, which is today in 79 days. The next 10-day barrier has been breached. Now, I want to talk about the leaks today, but I won't actually tell you anything about them. I won't tell you what specifically those leaks are about. Like, I won't tell you the content of them. I will talk about the thing that has leaked in general and how I'm going to be treating those on this channel. So you won't get spoiled here, you won't learn anything new other than what was actually leaked, not the content, again, just what the thing that was leaked was, not what it contains. Because I know a lot of you care about not getting spoiled at all. But first of all, let me start with this, leaks just suck. As much as obviously I like kind of theory crafting what Tears of the Kingdom is going to be about, what content is going to be in there. That's kind of the fun part, right? You don't actually necessarily want to know it, or if you want to know something, you want to make sure that everyone is on the same page. With these leaks, the problem are a lot of people are going to be actively avoiding them. Some people won't actually naturally see them and don't want to learn about them in like a random YouTube video. And then again, others might actually want to see them and might want to talk about them, but I think just because I know how much people care about spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom and how many people want to go into it as blind as possible and still want to enjoy watching this channel, my stance is going to be that I won't be covering any of the leaks on this channel. If there's more leaks in the future, I won't be covering them either. But I do have to talk about the problem with this. So I looked at them. I looked at the leaks I was considering at first to look at them, but I think as a content creator, you are essentially almost forced to look at them. Mainly because I stream. And when I stream, people might talk about the leaks. And I won't be able to know whether they are actually leaking something or spoiling something, or if they're just trolling, if I have no idea what they're going to be about. I have several other colleagues, I would call them other Zelda content creators, who felt the same way. They almost felt forced into looking at them just to be able to clarify, just to be able to know where we stand and know how to handle the situation. Now, what was leaked? The art book was leaked, the Tears of the Kingdom art book that will be contained basically in the Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition. It's definitely legit. There's no way these leaks are not legit. There is like 100 pages of super high quality art about the game, which would have been impossible to do for someone without actually having extensive knowledge about the game and having weeks or months and months of time. So it is definitely legit. And while there isn't many story spoilers about the game, there's definitely still some reveals that a lot of people don't necessarily want to know. I already announced yesterday in my upload, because this is funny, right? I just came back from my trip. I was not here this weekend, and I pre-recorded most videos, well, actually all of the videos for LimQ Plus in like the last like 4 or 5 days. And I already said, if something gets announced somehow while I'm away, I won't be able to respond or like to comment on it immediately, and I wasn't. But I did already yesterday comment under my video about Bullet Time being potentially not in the game anymore, that I had seen the leaks and that I won't be covering them in future videos. Now, some people seem to say we don't mind if you talk about them. Obviously, there would be a lot of things to talk about, a lot of content to talk about, if you give a spoiler warning in advance, which is respectable to me. But I honestly think, despite from the fact that who knows what like legal issues, you know, the Nintendo ninjas might be around, come from this, I just think I want to make content for everyone that's excited about the game on this channel. This is what this channel is about, just getting excited for the game and excluding some people from these videos by talking about spoilers or unofficial leaks that they don't want to associate with. I think I just simply want to avoid on this channel. So I won't be talking about them. Now, the problem obviously is, because I have seen them, because I felt kind of almost forced to do so, I explained why, it's obviously going to be a little bit difficult to make videos going forward, for the simple reason that, let's say, there's a good example. I thought of a specific, I'm not going to go into this at all, but I thought about a specific theory for the game on my stream the other day before I left. and that theory seems a lot more likely now after I've looked at the art book. Now, I feel like I can't discuss this anymore because my opinion has inevitably been changed by what I have seen, right? So this is what makes it such an awkward spot to be in. Like, I have now seen them, I have different information maybe than some people that have not looked at the art book now, and people say it's fine, it doesn't really spoil the story. Because it's just a collector's edition book. It doesn't matter though, because my knowledge of the game is now potentially different than some other people's knowledge, and I don't want to use that to make videos. So, going forward, my promise essentially is I will only discuss theories and topics on Tears of the Kingdom that have not been, where basically my understanding or knowledge has not been altered by the art book. I will ask you though if this is something that's you as a viewer that doesn't want to be spoiled would be okay with. If it's like, okay, if you talk about a theory that maybe is somehow mentioned, or like at least somehow shows up in the art book, and you don't mention that it was, and you don't actually use what was shown in the art book in your theory, we are okay with this, then let me know. But I absolutely understand if you're not. And then I will make sure that if I talk about Tears of the Kingdom, I will talk about completely untouched a completely untouched territory. But this is just a huge problem with this leak, because there's like 100+ pages of content that there is a lot, even though it literally has like basically almost no story relevance, there's a lot that has been touched on, a lot of things that I have potentially seen that other people have not seen now. And that's what makes this so awkward. And that's why I kind of wanted to talk about it today in this video. And maybe also continue the discussion with you in my comments here below. I kind of want to gauge everyone's stance on this. But my stance right now is just because I know people are actively avoiding the internet now already to not get spoiled, because they care so much about being unspoiled when it comes to the game, that I really want to respect that. And also, just by the nature of how these videos are, this is not really a channel that I've made to like look at stuff like this. It's not really a lore channel in the first place. It ended up being a channel that I used a lot for theory videos recently, just because of how much there was to talk about with the new Tears of the Kingdom official trailer. But simply because I just play the game as I'm talking to you, I won't even be able to show things or like images. I rarely ever do this on this channel, so it wouldn't even be a good channel to discuss topics like this, like leaks, for example, or new footage or whatever on. But yeah, that being said, my content from here on out, again, if it's going to be about Tears of the Kingdom, and we'll talk about this if there's an update. And most of you guys in the community, my community of this channel, agree that I can talk about theories that have maybe briefly been touched on in the art book without using the art book to, like, you know, mold my understanding of the theory. Then I do that. If you want to make sure that I only now, because I've seen the leaks and I want to be transparent about that, talk about things that have not touched on in the art book, that have not been touched on in the art book at all, I will do that instead and make sure that everything I talk about in regards to Tears of the Kingdom will be untouched territory, which would still be very possible unless there's going to be more leaks in the future. Also, I will say that art book did contain additional texts that were in Japanese that I have not looked at the translations at, because I have no idea. They might actually tell you more about story stuff. Please, again, if I see leaks in these comments, I will remove them. Please just don't even think about posting them. That is not the channel to do so. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to discuss with you how we should handle the situation, because it's weird and it's annoying. As much as I wanted to see more about the game, it's just kind of really awkward now, and I don't like it. But yeah, I at least wanted to discuss it with you guys before I decide how my future videos are gonna look like. If you do, however, really want to discuss the leaked content of the art book, you can, if this is really something you want to do with people in this community, you can join my Discord server, which I will link below, where I have made a channel specifically marked where you can discuss contents of the art book. This channel is already marked as spoiler territory, and additionally I'm making people tag every message that discusses them with the spoiler tag. So if you do want to join the Discord anyway and you don't want to see any spoiler content, because I do post when I go live on Twitch in that channel and when these videos go live, and just we talk about the game in general. Feel free to join anyway. If you don't click the channel, you'll be fine. And even if you do, the messages there will be double spoiler tagged, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this regard. I have a ton of other things that I want to do on this channel that are not even really related to Tears of the Kingdom. If you watch this channel for a longer time, I mean, I started this when Tears of the Kingdom was over 200 days away. Specifically this series, where 100% the game as I talk to you, has only been around for like 100+ days, which is still a lot. And I haven't actually talked about Tears of the Kingdom in every single of these videos. A lot of these videos were simply about Breath of the Wild, or more recently, I have also explored talking to other content creators and Zelda streamers and speedrunners in kind of like an interview style format, and I will be continuing that. Again, we have quote-unquote only 79 days to go, so there's a lot of other things I can do, but I did want to discuss how Tears of the Kingdom stuff in general, when it comes to theories, how I should be handling that from now. One thing that I definitely don't do, you don't even need to suggest that, is straight up like discuss the leaks in general, simply because I don't want to exclude anyone from the content, and additionally I won't be even able to show anything here, so describing something to you that I have seen, it just doesn't make sense to me. I just want to essentially know when we talk about Tears of the Kingdom stuff, and for example I start talking about a theory, if that theory by any extent has been covered in this art book leak, do you want me to not talk about it, or are you okay with me talking about it if I don't really use the art book information in my theory crafting, and also don't tell you which parts have shown up there? And if you really want to make sure, no, don't touch on anything at all, let me know that too. I will let you know the answer in an upcoming video. So if you, for example, vote for, yeah, I don't want to have anything to do with this art book stuff, so please don't. And a lot of people do want to see it, and I decide, okay, that's what I'm going to do, I will let you know, so you can decide not to watch anymore. But yeah, it's just awkward. Anyway, a little bit of an awkward time right now. At the end of the day, we'll get our game relatively soon, so we'll be able to talk about everything in detail very soon. Let me quickly just finish up this quest here and spawn this shrine, so we are ending at least on a nice note when it comes to progress. And then I'll talk to you in the comments about what we do when it comes to those leaks. Now I do actually... I'm always a little bit scared when it comes to this quest. This is one of the worst quests in the game, because sometimes pictures of these fragments actually don't count for reasons that I'm not sure of. That might only really be a speedrunning issue. Maybe if you move too quickly, the fragments might not load in time. Looks like we managed to do it correctly here. I talked about this in my All Shrines rated video. It's kind of crazy to me how you have to take all of these pictures, then solve another puzzle outside of the shrine, and then still do a shrine puzzle compared to some much easier blessing shrines to get. I didn't complain though, because I do like shrines that actually have you do some sort of puzzle, but that is something that did stand out to me. It is fitting though that we're ending on another Zonai type ruin after talking about this today. And I'm gonna check the map real quick as well, just to see what progress we are at. I think last time I recorded we had reached the 70% mark. I think it was even like 71. Yeah, so we're actually almost at 73%. 79 days to go, and we're getting close to the last 25%. Like I've obviously said many times before, if we do hit that 100% barrier before Tears of the Kingdom comes out, I will find lots of other things to do in that time. But for today, I'm gonna end it here. Let me know how we should move on going forward. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when there's only 78 days left until Tears of the Kingdom.